Welcome back to The Other Side Reports. I'm your host, Artie LaForge. Tonight we're heading down a lonely stretch of road along the Ohio River in southern Indiana, a place where the river runs dark, the fog rolls in heavy, and the past refuses to rest. This is the story of Eleanor Price, a name whispered around kitchen tables, told to new drivers by nervous parents, and passed down as a warning: don't linger too long on Riverside Bend Road, unless you want to meet the woman in white. There's something about the Ohio River. It's beautiful during the day, calm currents reflecting sunlight, tugboats moving slow, fishermen waiting along the banks. But that same river has always carried danger, floods, drownings, accidents. It's taken countless lives. And where there's tragedy sometimes, there's something left behind. Riverside Bend Road runs parallel to the river for about 2 miles. Locals use it to shave time off their route into town. It's quiet, narrow, and at night there are no streetlights, just your headlights, the trees closing in, and the river whispering beside you. That's where the legend begins. Back in the early 1900s, Eleanor Price lived in a clapboard house near that bend with her husband and young son. Times were hard. Farming along the river meant both bounty and risk. In the spring of 1913, heavy rains pushed the Ohio past its banks. Water rose quickly, sweeping through fields and homes. When the river claimed Eleanor's house, she tried to escape with her boy in her arms. But the current was merciless. Neighbors later recalled hearing her screams as she was pulled under. Her body was recovered downstream. Her son's was never found. Since then, Eleanor's name has been tied to the river. People say her grief kept her here, that she's still walking Riverside Bend, searching for the child she couldn't save. The earliest sighting dates back to the 1920s. A group of men driving a Model T swore they saw a woman in white step onto the road ahead of them. They stopped, thinking she was hurt, but when they approached, there was no one there. Only the sound of rushing water, though the river was 100 yards away. Throughout the decades, the reports continued. In the 1950s, teenagers out joyriding said they nearly hit a woman carrying what looked like a bundle. They said she turned her face toward their car, pale, wet hair sticking to her cheeks, before vanishing into the fog. By the 1970s, Riverside Bend Road had become a local dare. Kids would park there after midnight, daring each other to step out into the dark. Many of them came back shaken, claiming they heard the sound of crying, like a baby muffled by the fog. Even today, the stories haven't stopped. In fact, some of the most chilling encounters are recent. A truck driver in 2019 reported slamming on his brakes when a drenched woman walked straight across the road. He said her eyes locked onto his through the windshield, and in her arms, something small. By the time he got out of the cab, she was gone. In 2021, a family driving home from a baseball game had an encounter of their own. The parents didn't see anything, but their daughter, no more than 6 years old, asked, "Why is that wet lady holding a baby in the road?" The parents froze. They hadn't seen a soul. And just last summer, 2 college students swore they captured something on their phones. What looked like a figure moving through the mist at the bend. When they replayed the video, a woman's face appeared for just a second in the fog. The video never made it online. They deleted it, too unnerved to keep it. What makes Eleanor's legend different from so many others is the sound. Nearly every witness describes hearing it, a faint cry like a child's. Some say it comes from the trees, others swear it echoes from the river itself. One man told investigators that he pulled over and turned off his engine just to listen. The crying grew louder, circling his truck. He was so shaken, he refused to drive Riverside Bend at night ever again. Locals say if you hear the crying and don't leave right away, something strange happens. Engines fail, headlights flicker, phones die, almost as if the river itself is pulling you back to the night Eleanor lost everything. Skeptics argue the sightings are nothing more than fog, imagination, or tricks of light from the river. But the number of consistent reports across 100 years makes even the doubters pause. Some say Eleanor's ghost is tied to the flood of 1913. Others whisper the land itself holds memories, playing them back for the living like echoes. And still others believe something older than Eleanor lingers by the river, a spirit that uses her story to lure the curious closer to the water. Whatever the truth may be, Riverside Bend Road has earned its reputation,